Flash flooding is already underway on this Saturday across parts of the Ozarks. We've seen thunderstorms develop overnight, and I think those are going to continue today. And unfortunately, again, I don't think this setup is over. We could be dealing with this. Look at all of this moisture as this stalled boundary and this deep tropical moisture just creates this huge complex of thunderstorms. And I think this is going to continue, as I said, not just today, but also into tomorrow. And we could be looking at a dangerous situation at some point, because with flash flooding, of course, that's always a dangerous thing. You've got the steeper terrain into the Ozarks, so across eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and further east into the Tennessee Valley, these storms are going to continue to propagate as we head through the next couple of days. There's that big cluster of thunderstorms you saw there. It is going to be moving to the south and east today through Missouri, also parts of Arkansas. Some areas could see 5, 6, 7 inches of rain over the next couple of days. So this is far from over as we head through Sunday, also into the Memorial Day weekend. Now, right now, we've seen training storms dumping 2, 3 inches of rain across the same areas that are going to see multiple rounds of rain. So there'll be two rounds of rain, really. We've got this round that's going on this morning. You saw it on the satellite. And then we're going to see more developing rain as we head into this afternoon, this evening. Big storms, too. Training convection. Some of those storms could be strong, too. The Storm Prediction Center. Let's look at this risk. This is for Saturday. You've got severe weather on the southern side of this boundary. It could get on the strong side, and anytime you get strong thunderstorms, right, you're going to get heavy rain. So that's a concern, too. And then we'll see more, again, development heading into the afternoon and evening. There could also be a few tornadoes here. Tornado risk isn't off the charts, but you can see it's not a zero threat here across parts of Oklahoma. It definitely is there with some wind shear, and that extends also east into parts of Mississippi, Alabama, the rest of Arkansas, and even up here into parts of Colorado and Wyoming. Some of these storms heading into this afternoon could pulse up. There's also a risk for some hail too, especially the further north and west you go, I think, up into this region where it's a little bit colder. I think some of these storms could produce some hail, but the taller storms across Texas, Oklahoma today could also produce some pretty large hail as well. So be aware of that. Really, this is Sunday. I'm sorry, on the tornado outlook. This is Saturday. The Sunday hail outlook is higher, I guess I should say, across Oklahoma 2 days in a row. So you've got it Saturday also and on Sunday. Very active weather. And day 3, that severe weather continues across Texas and areas further to the east. All right, let's look at the future radar. Let's time some of this rain out. We've got this ongoing complex of storms now, and we're also going to talk about the cool weather that we're seeing across parts of the Northeast. Temperatures below normal. I got the sweatshirt on. I know that this is kind of the weekend that pools open in many areas of the East and to parts of the South, and with temperatures in the 30s and 40s at night. So that's some cold water. All right, let's go back to the dangerous threat today, and we'll talk more about that cool weather. Again, some big storms could start to fire up as we head into the afternoon, also into the evening across Oklahoma, Kansas. And then once these storms fire, you're going to get that heavy rain threat pushing east into Oklahoma, also Missouri, and then down south into parts of Mississippi, Alabama. Some of these storms could linger into the evening hours tonight into parts of Tennessee, West Tennessee, some heavy rain possible. And then heading into Sunday, we do it again. I mean, we could be looking at another morning of heavy rain across Arkansas and Missouri from Branson. I mean, right along the northern parts. I really just think the northern half of Arkansas here, another risk of some really heavy rain. And then heading into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, big storms start going here across Texas again, into Oklahoma, Kansas. Heavy rain here as well, pushing back into the same areas that are going to see the rain over the next couple of days. And with this type of weather pattern that we're seeing, things are kind of stuck with this boundary just laying here like this right now. Let's continue to push this out just a little bit further in time, and this is the end of the 3K NAM. We're taking it through Monday afternoon. Storms still here. So we've got a multi-day rain event, and you can see where the frontal boundary is draped sort of like this. And south of that boundary, it's hot across Texas today. We're going to be in the triple digits. North of that, in the rain and the cooler weather, temperatures in the 50s and 60s, even some 40s heading into the afternoon across the northern tier. As we head into tomorrow, more clouds. You can clearly see where that's going to be on the cool side of this system. Temperatures in the 50s, some 40s even possible. And then we're hot across the south. Temperatures in the 90s and 100s again across parts of Texas. Let's push this east now. We're still looking at this complex across Arkansas and Missouri through the morning, moving into Tennessee, moving into North Mississippi and Alabama. So we start dry today across these areas, but the rain showers will increase. Across the Northeast, it's cool, it's damp. We've got this showery setup, but we're dry here, really from the Ohio Valley into the upper Midwest. Maybe a few showers trying to pop into the afternoon. Otherwise, a mostly dry Saturday. Some strong storms also possible here across the southern part of Florida. And then this complex, this is going to be left over of what we're seeing today that eventually pushes into parts of Georgia, parts of South Carolina with some showers here. Heavy rounds of rain again. We've talked about what's going on across Missouri, West Tennessee, northern Mississippi. There comes the showers across the Northeast. Some of these showers could get a little bit heavier on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening with that cold air loft. And we also introduce a few showers into the mid-Atlantic. So if you're planning the rest of the weekend, that's kind of how things are looking here. This takes you through Sunday into early Monday morning. And we'll look at a longer range forecast in just a moment. And here's a look at your temperatures today. Let's move west quickly, and then we'll go back to the entire country out here. We've got some showers. It's a little bit cool up into the mountains with the rain, but yeah, I mean, that's to be expected, especially the higher elevations. Certainly not impossible to see some snow into Wyoming, parts of Utah. Otherwise, we start to see some drier conditions back across parts of the far west. However, I don't know that it lasts. More showers. I'm going to back this up. We're dry on Sunday, but look, heading into Monday, our next system slams into the Pacific Northwest. That's going to increase the wind and a few rain showers here. Otherwise, kind of a ridge building, and now you've got these showers and storms popping into the afternoon and evening hours. You can see them there, boom, 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 all the way through next week, driven by the afternoon heating. A little bit cooler across the far southwest today, back into the 90s versus the widespread 100s. All right, let's take it through the next several days now. Find where you are on the map here, and we're going to let it march. This is Saturday. We've talked all about this rain set up along this boundary. Let's take a look at the larger weather features. Again, in the upper levels, you've got this cold air spinning here into the northeast, temperatures below average. Another cold pool of air swinging across the Great Lakes. That's going to create some instability, maybe some showery conditions as well. Further to the south, our rain axis starts to shift a little bit further to the north. So by Sunday, your rain chance is clearly increasing, and these are 6-hour rain totals, so it might look a little more aggressive than it really will be. I don't know that it will rain the whole time. However, in some of these areas, it actually might. We might just see round after round after round of rain. And now we're heading into Memorial Day. This would be heading into the evening hours. Rain chances increasing further to the north now, up across Iowa, Nebraska, into parts of South Dakota. We do start to warm up some into the northeast just because we get rid of the clouds. And then heading into Tuesday, this rain starts to lift north and east. We start to see some relief across the southern plains, across the Ozarks, across Missouri, as this finally kicks out. Things change. Here comes another cold pocket of air. All right, that's what we're looking at in the upper levels. This is just spinning around. It's getting cut off from the main flow across the west. Some ridging is starting to build here. And then again, that means we dry out, we get a little warmer. But underneath this upper low, more cool weather, again, for the Great Lakes into the northeast. Out ahead of this, I will tell you, I think we warm up somewhat. Rain chances are going up from the south, mid-south, all the way to the Ohio Valley into the Great Lakes. And then across the central U.S., a little bit drier once you get into the northern plains, into the upper Midwest as we head toward Thursday and Friday, and your rain chances start to increase again across the southern plains, down into the deep south. We start to push everything off to the east by next weekend, and let's really push this out in time. All right, so at this point, it is what it is. It's a model data forecast, so who knows. But yeah, our first tropical hurricane, I don't know if it's going to make it to a hurricane, but tropical system off into the eastern Pacific looks to be forming as we head into the next several days. This may impact parts of Mexico here, something to keep an eye on. Some of that moisture may eventually get funneled north in the coming days. We'll see how all that pans out, but we are entering hurricane season. It's right around the corner. It's hard to believe. The year's flying by. Once we get in, now look at this, guys. Look, we're into June. All right, so it's not that far away. Here on Saturday, May 24th, just a few days away now. Temperatures across the east, I think we're starting June cool. My mind hasn't changed on that. But I think, my opinion, once we get past this next upper low that's going to be moving through, we've got the one now and then the next one. But look, I think once we approach that first week of June, it's on. I think we start to get hot. I think we start to see some ridging building. Now you've got your Bermuda high here. a lot of strong southerly flow around this. That increases a lot of moisture. That means likely afternoon and evening thunderstorms. This is a warm pattern for the central and eastern U.S. It could concentrate a lot of showers, though, here into areas that are seeing a lot of rain now. If I had to think long term, what would it look like? Maybe that's where things are settling. It's just my opinion. This right here was free today, so take your complaints to the management if you didn't enjoy the forecast. I always love your comments. Some of them. All right. I'll catch you guys next time. Hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Remember what this weekend is all about. Thank you to all those who have served if you're in the service. And we're remembering, again, all those who have served in the past this weekend. See you next time.